Alright, welcome everybody. This video will just be very short and sweet. Let me see if I can get it under 5 minutes. That's how straightforward it is. But for this little assignment, I just wanted us to review the Pythagorean theorem and just practice a few questions. So here, what this question is saying, for example, number 1, it's saying that if you have a triangle over here, and you know it's a right triangle, it's saying what is the missing side. So you got to find it in simplest radical form. So the idea is that if you have a triangle such as this, let's take a look at the Pythagorean theorem, and please have this in your notes, that if you have a triangle such as this where A and B are the legs, right, and the C is always opposite of the right angle, right, if you have your A, your B, and your C, then we could simply have the Pythagorean theorem, which states that A squared plus B squared equals C squared, right? So if I square this side plus, and I add it with the square of this side, it should equal the square, no, I'm sorry, not it should, it will equal the square of this side for a right triangle. So let's take a look over here. Notice that here, looking at this from here to here, your A is 6, your B is 5, and your C you don't know. So let's just use the setup, and let me get another pen. So if you have A squared plus B squared equals C squared, so your A is 6 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared, right? And then how do you continue here? 6 squared will be 36 plus 25 equals C squared. What is 36 plus 25? That should be 61 equals C squared. Now, what do you do once you get up to this point where 61 is equal to C squared? You're just going to take the square root, and now you have C is equal to the square root of 61. Notice that 61 is not a perfect square, so we can't take the square root of it, and that's what it's saying over here. It's saying keep it in simplest radical form. So boom, C is equal to, actually, is that simplest radical form? Yeah, C is square root of 61. Okay, and that's it. Let's try the next one. Here, if you look at this example, notice the same idea that we have here, right? What is our A value? We don't know. What is our B value? It's 6. And what is our C value? It's square root of 39. So knowing this, let's use the formula. This is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And let me zoom in the camera a little bit. Okay. How do we actually figure this out? So we know that this we don't know, so we're going to leave it alone. B squared is going to be 6 squared plus, equals the square root of 39, the whole thing squared. Now notice what happens here. Remember, if you have the square root and you're taking the square of it, so these two cancel. So now you just have 39 on the right side. So you have A squared plus 36 is equal to 39. So how do you get A by itself? Let's subtract 36 on both sides. And now we have A squared equals 3, right? 39 minus 36 is 3. Oh, sorry. A squared is equal to 3. Then how do you actually get what A is? Square root. A is equal to the square root of 3. And notice that you can't simplify this anymore. So notice, what is the length of this side over here? It's square root of 3. What was the length of the hypotenuse over here? It was square root of 61. Bam, done. 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Very straightforward. So what I'd like you to do is, there is a very nice delta math, which kind of just like goes over these questions. It will, it'll give you a few examples. And the next video will be much better. This was like a little warm-up. The next video will be a little more challenging than what this was. So try and focus on this delta math first. And the second you feel good with this delta math, the next video will be ready. Okay, enjoy your day.